Good morning, students. Myself, Ashutosh Pawan, Faculty, Department of BCA, Harprasad Das Jain College, Ara. In today's video lecture, I am going to teach you about array. Array is a variable that can be used to hold more than one similar type of values. If you want to store more than one similar type of values in a single named variable, you are giving only one name to hold more than one, but all the values will be of similar type. Then you have to use array variables in your program. As you know that if you want to use a variable in a program, then you have to declare it first. You have also declared variable when you were writing programs of type sequential based problem, or of type selection based problem, or of type looping based problem. You may have declared variables to solve such problems by writing a C language program. Suppose you are declaring an integer variable, an integer type variable, and you are writing the name of the variable with the data type int. Then this is a variable that will hold only one value at a time. It can hold only one value of type integer. It cannot store the second value together with the first value. If you are storing a value in this variable, suppose you are storing a value 10 in this variable. This value 10 is of integer type, and the variable that you have used to initialize this value is also of integer type. Then the memory type and the type of value are both similar, and you can store this value in the variable named num. When you are attempting to store another value in this variable, suppose you are going to store 20 in this variable, then this initialization statement will cause the value 20 to be overwritten in the memory named num. The name of the variable is similar here, and in the other word you can say that you have used a single name of the variable, but the variable declared here is called a normal variable, and normal variable can hold only one value. When you are declaring a variable, then during the runtime a memory is created by the name as you have given for your variable. You have given the name to your variable as num, and you have specified the data type to your variable as int. Hence a memory of 2 bytes will be created, and the name of the memory will be given as num. While processing this initialization statement, the compiler will store the value 10 in this memory area, and as soon as the flow of execution reaches to this initialization statement, then the compiler will process the same memory whose name is num. And as you can see that at this point of time num has the value 10, but when the compiler will process this initialization statement, compiler will store the value 20 in this particular memory, and hence the value 10 will be overwritten by the value 20. Again, if in any line you are attempting to store value 30 by writing the initialization statement num is equal to 30, then during runtime, when the compiler will be processing this assignment expression, initialization expression, then the compiler will use the same memory that you have given the name by declaring the variable num, and the compiler will store this specified value by overwriting the earlier value, and hence now this memory will store the value 30. When the compiler will be processing this initialization statement, then the compiler will store the value 30 by overwriting previously stored value 20 in this memory area. Hence you can see that this variable can hold only one value, but you want to store all these values and maybe more than this number of values to be stored in a single named memory. Then you have to use array variable in your program, and you know that any variable that is to be used in a program, you have to declare the same variable first, then you can use the variable in the program. First task of using a variable is to declare the variable. As I have taught that there are 4 steps involved that you have to use to solve any given problem, and the first step is variable declaration. Hence, when you want to use array variable in your program, then you have to declare the array variable first in your program. And to declare the array variable in your program, you have to use the syntax as a storage class range modifier data type variable name big brace open size 1, size n. To declare array variable in your program, you have to use the syntax as I have written here. As I have taught you earlier in your classes that anything that is written inside big brace open and close is optional, and you can see that I have written a storage class inside big brace open and close, hence a storage class is optional. I will discuss about a storage class in my next video lecture. Also, range modifier has been written inside big brace open and close, hence it is also optional. And I have taught you that there are 4 keywords that are used as range modifier. These 4 keywords are short, signed, unsigned, and long. I have also taught you about the use of these 4 range modifier keyword, how they are used and what are the effects of these range modifier, and with which data type these range modifier are used. You know that using signed range modifier, there is no effect on any data type. Using unsigned range modifier with char and int, you can make the range of these data type as positive. I have taught you that sort cannot be used with char data type, float data type, and double data type, and for 8-bit compiler, sort can be used only with int data type, and it makes the size of memory for int data type of 1 byte, and the range is also modified from -128 to 127. I have taught you that long cannot be used with char data type and float data type, but it can be used, long range modifier can be used with int data type and double data type. But the range modifier, while declaring an array variable in the program, is an optional part. You can left it, and if you require to use range modifier, you can use any of these range modifier keywords. I have taught you about the available predefined data types as int, char, float, and double. As you can see that I have not written data type inside big brace open and close, hence it is not optional but it is compulsory. While declaring an array variable, you have to specify the data type, and after giving a space you have to type your array variable name, and after typing array variable name you have to use at least once. Here the big brace open and close is not optional while declaring an array variable. You have to use at least once big bracket open and close, and within big bracket open and close you have to type an integer quantity for size 1. Okay, you can also type big bracket open and close again after this big bracket open and close, and when you are typing big bracket open and close again for the second time, then inside the big bracket open and close you have to specify an integer quantity that will be referred as size 2, and similarly you can expand this up to size m. I will discuss it in latter part of this video lecture. Hence the entire syntax of declaring an array variable in the program is like this. Now suppose you want to store 10 integer values in a single variable. Then you have to declare an array variable of type int. You want to store an integer, you want to store more than one integer values in a single variable, then you have to declare an array variable of type int. Suppose you want to store 10 values of integer type, then you will declare an array of integer type. For this you have to specify the data type as int, and then you have to write your variable name. And since you want to store 10 values in this single variable, then you have to make this variable array variable. A variable is made an array variable by using this operator. This operator is named as subscript operator. Hence array variable is also named as subscripted variable. You have to use at least for one time this subscript operator with your variable, so that you can declare an array variable in the program. And when you are using this subscript operator, then you have to specify the size inside this subscript operator. You want to store 10 values, hence this size will be here 10. So by following the syntax as specified above, you have declared an array variable of integer type that will hold 10 different values, but all the values will be of same type, and the type is here int. You have written the data type. Because the range modifier is optional, you have left it. A storage class is optional, you have left it. But data type is compulsory, you have specified the data type. Then after data type, by separating it with blank space, you have written your variable name, and after variable name you have used once this subscript operator, and inside the subscript operator you have specified the size as 10. This is your array variable declared in the program. When the compiler will be processing this declaration statement, the compiler will allocate a single memory by the name num. The entire memory will be referred by the name num. But this memory is divided into 10 different parts, as you have specified the size as 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. you can see that the width of these memory cells are different, but actually in memory area of computer all the size of such boxes will be similar. Now this entire memory is referred by the name num. And this entire memory is divided into 10 parts. To identify each part of this memory area, compiler will provide a number. This number is called index. This memory cell will be referred by an index value 0. This memory cell will be referred by an index value 1, and so on. This memory cell will be referred by the value 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.